If you're like most people, you're probably living paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet, and wondering how to break free from the cycle. The good news is you've come to the right place. In this video, we'll be discussing the top tips and tricks for getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle so you can start living your best life. Picture this, it's the end of the month and you're staring at your bank account balance with a sense of dread. You've got bills due and groceries to buy and barely enough money to cover it all. You're stuck in a paycheck to paycheck cycle and it feels like there's no way out. But don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. But the good news is you don't have to be one of them forever, and I'll tell you how. The first step in breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle is creating a budget. Yes, that might be cliche at this point, but it needs to be done. This means figuring out how much money you're bringing in each month and where it's all going. Start by tracking your expenses for a month or two. This means writing down everything you spend on, from rent to coffee to that new t-shirt you bought online. Make a list of all your major spending categories like rent, insurance, groceries, restaurants, spending money, and so on. Then you can allocate an exact amount for each category for that month. Once you've got a clear picture of your spending habits, you can start making changes. Cut back on the things that you don't really need, like your daily latte or your monthly subscription that you never use. And make sure you're putting some money aside for emergencies and savings. Another key to breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle is reducing your debt. Obviously, if you've got credit card debt or loans, it's important to tackle those first. Start by making a list of all your debts, including the balance and interest rates for each. Debt could be anything like credit cards, school loans, car payments, or any other personal loans that you've accumulated over time. Then come up with a plan to pay them off as quickly as possible. This might mean paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, or using a debt consolidation loan to combine all your debts into one manageable monthly payment. That would make your life a lot easier. Yes, this step is definitely one that would make you sweat and uncomfortable. But if you have a good enough reason why you want to do this, then you will definitely succeed. Just make sure you have a plan in place with a lot of dedication and consistency. Because what you're about to do is going to be hard as hell. There is no way to sugarcoat this. But believe in yourself and you'll get there. After you've achieved your debt-free milestone, it's time to party. No, I'm kidding. It's time to think bigger. One of the most effective ways to break free from paycheck to paycheck cycle is to increase your income. Duh, but a lot of people don't know that they can actually use their current skills to make money off of. This might mean asking for a raise at work, taking on a side hustle, something that we're actually going to talk a lot about in this channel, or even starting your own business. Think outside the box here. What skills do you have that you can turn into a profitable venture? Whether it's dog walking, freelance writing, or selling handmade crafts on Etsy. There are countless ways to make extra money in your spare time. Okay, this whole process isn't easy. And it's not meant to be, because spending money is a lot easier than earning money. Just like losing someone's trust is a lot easier than gaining their trust. So it can be very easy to get discouraged along the way. That's why it's important to stay motivated and focused on your goals. Build yourself a personal vision board that shows your specific goals and track your progress along the way. Equally important is to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. I mean, who doesn't like celebrating? Oh, and don't beat yourself up if you slip up from time to time. Nobody is perfect. If you were, you wouldn't be in this position in the first place. Remember, this is a journey rather than a destination. Now that you're crushing every milestone, you really don't want to fall back to the same place you worked so hard to get out of. So we need to build you a cushion to fall back on in case a rainy day comes around. This is money that you set aside specifically for unexpected expenses, like a car repair or a medical bill. Because without an emergency fund, you may find yourself turning to credit cards or loans again to cover these expenses, which will only keep you stuck in the cycle, which is ultimately what we don't want here. So aim to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in your emergency fund, and make sure you're consistently adding to it each month. Alright, in order to break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle, you need to learn how to prioritize your spending. What I mean by that is that you need to focus on the things that are truly important to you and cut back on the things that aren't. For example, it might be really important for you to live alone and have your own space, but you don't mind taking the public transit to go around instead of a car. So make a list of your top priorities, whether it's saving for a down payment on a house, taking a dream vacation, or paying off debt. Then make sure those spendings align with those priorities. If something doesn't fit into your priorities, think twice before spending money on it. One trick that I use is to wait a few days on a purchase I really want to make. And if I still feel that the thing I'm trying to buy is important to me, then I'll go ahead and buy it. But in most cases, after a few days, I realize I avoided a major case of emotional spending. Finally, if you're really struggling to break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle, don't be afraid to seek help. There are plenty of resources available, from financial advisors to credit counseling services. These professionals can help you create a personalized plan for getting out of debt, building your savings, and reaching your financial goals. Remember, there is no shame in asking for help. It's a sign of strength rather than weakness. And there you have it, my top tips for breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle that nobody wants. Remember, it won't happen overnight, but with patience, dedication, and hard work, you can achieve your financial freedom. I hope this video has been helpful, and as always, feel free to leave a comment below with your own tips and tricks for getting out of this crazy cycle. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more personal finance and self-development videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.